Yo, what is up, Lions chat? I didn't like that. I don't like how that sounded. That didn't sound good. It doesn't matter. We're live. I feel like I sound really loud now. That last recording I did was crazy, but I don't know if it's loud on the live stream. So y'all will have to let me know. Do we sound crazy loud? We'll have to find that out. I think it's good because usually people say I'm quiet, but it sounded very loud today, and I don't know what's going on with that. Either way, we're going to be talking about this Lions-Falcons game. This is still the Lions Roundtable. I know I'm the only one here, so it's like, what is this? Well, it's still Lions Roundtable. It's still happening, but today the Roundtable is one person. It's not really a roundtable. It's kind of just a person sitting at a table. That's me. I'm sitting at a table. But the show must go on. Tuesdays and Thursdays, sort of 8 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be really dialed in once we get the crew together. And I think we have an idea of what that crew is going to look like. It's just about really making it happen, which is the challenge. But that said, I'm hopeful. Especially as the season gets closer, we're going to have this dialed in. This won't be as much of an issue. But as of now, we're still sorting all of that out. King said he didn't feel too well, so we're still going to make it happen. Hopefully King gets better. But we got to talk about this Falcons game a little bit because I really haven't done much on this game outside of the initial reactions just from watching it live. And then also I did the one video on Tyreek. I wanted to do on a tape Ratledge. We'll see if we get to it. Things get sped up a little bit. So sometimes you don't get to those things. I wanted to, but I don't know if it's going to happen. But there's still a lot of things that we can talk about today. And specifically, Hendon Hooker is where I want to turn my attention to today. Now, YouTube's doing its thing again. See, I was concerned about this. Last year, they started copywriting the All-22 for the preseason, not the regular season, just the preseason. I don't know why they started copywriting that, and then the first game they didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, times have changed. I can use this again. And then they hit me with it again. And then it pulled back. So I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know what's going on with copyright. So I'm going to take the chance today and try to get away with it. But will I? I have no idea. We're still going to do it probably anyway. Or maybe we'll just use still images, sort of. That way I don't get hit with the copyright bug. We'll see. I don't know how this is going to work. But there's still things that I want to show. So we're going to try it, and we'll just see what happens. If it happens, it happens. That said, we're getting into joint practices. Miami this week. We're about done. We're about done with training camp. I mean, it's right here. We're right around the corner. It's game week. Third preseason game, one more to go. It feels like old school times. 3-4 preseason games feels old school. The third one where you play everybody for like a half, and that's the only game that you kind of watch. And the other one's like, don't watch the fourth game. It's pretty boring. Nobody plays. Like the old setup for preseason was a disaster looking back at it. I still wouldn't have an issue with just less preseason games. Like I know it's 3 now. I wouldn't have an issue with it being 1. Phantom, so look. The beats are coming, and it's not that I don't want to put it on here. Like I said, I'm going to have it on new channels, so let me plug that. It's actually a good timing to do that. Click that top link. Make sure you subscribe to that channel because eventually we're going to be moving over there as this roundtable comes together. King said he's not feeling well, so he didn't join us today. But we are going to have the beats on that channel. I don't want to throw them in here because it won't move, so I'll have them just set in that channel when we go live over there. That way they're easy to grab instead of trying to just like pull them from a different thing because I can't share 2 things at once. I don't know. It's just a weird thing. But yeah, sub to the Lions Roundtable. It's still going to happen. We got people lined up. It's just me though today. But we're still going to have fun. It's just me today. But I do want to talk about this game. So let's get right into it. I'm going to show some plays actually just to jump this things off. If there's something that y'all want to talk about, make sure you throw it in there. I don't know how long we're going to be live today. We'll see. We'll just kind of chat it up. If there's anything y'all want to talk about, throw it in there. But I do want to start with Isaac Teslaa because kind of like cornerbacks, unless the guys get targeted, you tend to not maybe give the player the attention that you should because they didn't get the football, so they weren't shown on the screen. But instead, today I wanted to give some love to Isaac Teslaa, specifically in times that he didn't get the ball. I had pointed out the wide receiver blocking that was pretty crazy. Like I know Teslaa's going to do that, but it was mind-blowing seeing some of the receivers block in this past week. Everybody was blocking. And it was the route where I talked about Teslaa stumbling, and it was kind of low, and we thought maybe that was a PI, that kind of thing. But it was that route and seeing that back and be like, man, I kind of liked how he set that up, somehow crafty that was. And then I go back and I watched the play before where the ball doesn't come out. And this was actually more so just looking for Hendon Hooker. And Isaac Teslaa standing out. One, it seems like there is sort of an emphasis on let's get this guy the opportunity to get the ball. Like they're isolating opportunities, matchups for Isaac Teslaa to go win one-on-one so we can highlight Isaac Teslaa to go see if he can win his matchup. I mean, we got a perfect example, and was it 4th and 2, 4th and 3? We just ran an underneath slant to him, and it was like, go win one-on-one, the ball's going to you. Or the kind of the pick fade that we ran in the end zone. Like, we did that a lot. And a lot of these big downs, we did the same kind of thing, too. It was like, let's get this guy the opportunity. Let's see if we can clear it out and create a matchup for him. And that's probably where the ball is going to go. It's just sometimes the ball didn't go there. So this first one, I think is a good example of this. Now, one thing that felt consistent, and shout out to KB in the chat, too. One thing that felt consistent was the coverage understanding, I think, was clearly there for Hendon Hooker. And I actually feel, and I didn't expect to feel this way, I feel very similar to the way that I felt after that first preseason game. You know, where it was like, I don't know how people felt after that first preseason game. I think more people were down on than up, but there was still like some hope. And then the second preseason game, it seems like it's taken a lot of people's belief in Hendon Hooker away. But weirdly enough, I feel kind of the exact same. I'm not saying that's good or bad. I just feel the same way. Like, I still felt watching it back. And I'll show you some things. From progression, speed timing, the quickness in his footwork. Like, there's a lot of things there. I like the fast release that he's playing with. I think his process has sped up a bit. But then there's obviously the 2 fumbles, and the second one they pulled him. And based on what Campbell said, I think they just legitimately pulled him because, like, dude, 2 fumbles, we can't have this. And that was a mistake. But I still have the same issues where it's like, hey, when the play breaks down, let's be a little bit more, let's be a little more comfy. Let's not look like things are now in fast forward, and they look in fast forward, and everything looks like it's happening too fast as soon as there is a broken play, and things just get messy fast. But I want to show this first example here. Let me throw this on the screen. I'm hoping I can play this clip. I really want to play the clip and not just screenshots of this. Let's see what we can get away with. I don't know. We'll try it. We'll try it to see what happens. But it'd also be cool if YouTube just let me know during. They were like, yo, you know what? Can't do that, dude. It's like, all right, I gotcha. I'll back off. But they don't. They do it afterwards. So shout out to YouTube for that. I'm hating on YouTube today. My bad. All right, let's go. Let's show this first one. So this is, and I want to show Isaac Teslaa. I really, because I'll show Hendon Hooker, but I want to show Isaac Teslaa first and foremost here because it's the route running. And there was 2 different examples. The very next play is the one where you're going to see him kind of stumble and fall, and they called that pass interference, or they didn't call pass interference. That was the play. This is the play before. And I want to show this because it's very similar to what they're asking of him, but the way that he sets up his route is different. And I love that because if he would have set up the same way and ran the exact same route, essentially, the defensive back would have understood what's coming, and he would have stepped down on it and took it away. But Teslaa was smart. He got crafty. He changed it up a bit. So watch this. He's at the top of the screen. I know it's dark. This is like the way that they provide the All-22 in the preseason for some reason. I don't know why. Again, I don't know what the NFL is doing. I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea. But at the top here, watch him. So inside leverage corner, right? He's trying to take that inside away. He's trying to squeeze Isaac Teslaa to the outside. So watch how he presses this route. And this is the thing. I think that Hendon Hooker is doing a positive job at feeling the safeties, understanding maybe the bones of what the coverage is getting to, and working through the progressions based on that. He just doesn't always have the time that maybe he needs. And I'm not taking the blame away from him to the offense. So I'm not doing that. But there are examples of that. And it's just like maybe the response has to be better from his end. But that said, I want to show Teslaa here. So inside leverage, forcing Teslaa to the sideline. Now watch how he changes speed at the top of the route. So this is what the route savvy, we talk about the nuance. Watch how he attacks this cornerback. So he's slow playing it, and then he's going to start to speed up at the top of the route. He's really going to turn on the jets at the top of that route and push this corner. So I'm going to let that play full speed. Watch it here. He's going to break that inside route. Watch him slow it, speed up, boom, snap it back inside. Now he's created a little bit of space. Now, maybe he wasn't the prettiest necessarily. This actually is what turned into the 24-yard scramble or whatever. And what I did like about this, too, is, again, Hendon Hooker seemingly has an idea of what's happening here. When you got 2 deep safeties, 2 deep corners on top, in this case, they're not blitzing. They got 3 underneath pieces, kind of like a quarters look here. So when you have, well, I guess it's not. I guess it's more like a cover 3 look, it looks like here. Regardless, though, everybody's cleared out of the play, so you just take off. I didn't actually note down what the coverage was. Point being, though, this is the first example of Teslaa setting up a corner. Slow playing it, has an inside leverage. Let me speed up at the top of the route, right? A lot of guys will change their speed in a negative way at the top, where they'll start to decelerate. And when you decelerate at the top of the route, it's easy for a cornerback to dive on it. So wide receivers will use that to their advantage. They'll decelerate, and then they'll hit the juice again so that they can get over top. We see J-Mo do that because he has so much burst. So for Teslaa here, he actually slows himself, speeds himself back up, and now watch how the corner reacts. You see how reactive he has to be over top to deal with that? Then he can snap it. Now the challenge is, can you snap the route? Like, that's what it is. Can you snap the route after you've sped that process up? Can you still snap down to your knees? Can you drop that weight? And I would say he does a fine job here, right? The footwork gets pretty quick. He does get held up a bit, and you can see that he gets a little bit rounded through the top of this route. And he gets a little bit sluggish through the top of that as well. But ultimately, I like the creativity that he had at the top of that route. So that's the first play. But it really just sets up, what I want to show next specifically. So I had to show that play first. Let me jump a little bit ahead here. Oh, it's very next play. My bad. Next play. Yeah. Let me go to the next play. So this is the one where it fell incomplete. I thought the next play was the third down. That's why it threw me off. All right. So this is the incomplete one. Now watch. You're going to see a very similar setup here. And as you see this play, you're going to be thinking to yourself, oh, snap, cornerback can look at this and just jump this, right? I mean, if Teslaa runs this the same way, and he's got one way to open this corner, this thing is getting jumped. This is not getting open. So I'm going to let you play full speed. Watch top of the screen here. Get inside leverage, squeeze to the sideline. You see the difference in footwork that time from Teslaa, right? He's going to throw something different at the cornerback. That way he can't just play it. And that's what I did like. I like some of the creativity there. So last time he slow played it, then sped it up. Here, it's a pretty consistent pace. Then you see him trying to drop his weight. But watch, he's going to go in, out, press. So he's going to press inside right here. So he's going to press that leverage right here with the inside step. And he's selling it inside that he's going to snap it back outside. He's selling this as I'm pressing inside to snap back out. So look at the cornerback react here. I'm snapping that thing out. But it comes down to the footwork now. Does he have the short area agility to do this? Snaps it outside, break it off, and then he's got to be able to work through that route. And again, he stumbled, but he still did get back to his leverage there. He still created leverage as long as he doesn't stumble. So it's going to be a work in progress to make that more consistent and detailed where it's not slippery at the top of the route. It feels like he's falling over himself. He's going to need time, right? That's a fair work in progress. But ultimately, it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that he's got a little bit of He's got the football intelligence to give him something different, right? To throw just kind of a different wrinkle at the cornerback to try to separate, especially if the last one didn't separate the way maybe you wanted it to. So I thought that was cool. And again, that was a fine read there from Hendon Hooker. I also thought the throw that nearly got Craig's head taken off was also a good read as well, ultimately through this play. I'll actually let this one run because I hadn't really looked at this one that much yet, but I haven't really showed this one. But I thought this was fine, right? It's cover 3, so this corner's responsibility is stay on top of the 1, right? That's your job. Stay over the 1. Well, the assignment, this is where the challenge is for the corner. This assignment changes when these two switch. So when he sets down and he rolls outside, now this is the number 1. The running back is the number 1 receiver. So now the cornerback, his responsibility is stay on top of the 1. Well, you just got pried in by the number 2, essentially, who was the number 1. So that's why the cornerback bites, and you get this lane to throw into. And Hendon was reactive. He was responsive to it. I thought that was fine. I like that quick release he's showing. He's getting the ball out fast. This is the big positive for Hendon. Just the throwing motion, the mechanics of it feel very clean. I do like that element. The footwork feels pretty fast here. He sees the single high safety early on the play, so now he's got the the approval, knowing exactly what look he's getting, and now it's about letting it set up. Cornerback dives, kind of gives a shrug, and then he works back over top. The problem is the cornerback's right in the play, so boom, he gets smashed. But ultimately, I didn't hate the idea of what he was trying to do. The ball placement was also in a pretty good spot. If anything, maybe you do throw him back there. Maybe you throw it back shoulder. That way the safety doesn't have a good chance at making a play on the ball. But again, I didn't hate that. I didn't hate what happened there. I understood why he threw the ball, and I also felt that the mechanics are just looking smoother from Hendon this year. I mean, I guess we haven't seen a lot of him, but it feels more fluid. That said, there's plays like this. And the thing is, these are like back to back to back, which is a crazy part. There's plays like this where I see it, and I'm like, okay, I like this, but I do wonder a bit. So defense, I believe they man up here. And you're going to see it. This is a good read. Essentially, you're playing your matchups, right? You go 3-by-1, and safety rolls over the number 3. So this is a safety defensively. This is the number 3 receiver, Jackson Meeks. This is a matchup as a receiver or as a quarterback you want to take. Now, you could maybe guess that, okay, maybe they're bracketing this. He could play outside leverage. He could play outside leverage, squeeze him back inside to the backside safety, and you could essentially bracket this number 3 receiver. Maybe if you was a really good number 3 receiver, you do. Maybe if that's Justin Jefferson at the number 3, you just say let's bracket that. And some teams may take that approach, but here they don't really bracket that at all. They kind of just let him live one-on-one with the safety. So as a quarterback, it's a good read. And again, you're going to see Hendon Hooker gets that clarification before he throws it. But the holdup that I have, even though it didn't become an issue, is they're showing this blitz look. And the linebacker is going to drop, and he's going to get right into the spot of the zone. I just wonder if Hendon Hooker saw the linebacker. Because it didn't become an issue, but it can. So watch it here. He gets the clarification. Oh, okay, he's one-on-one here. Now, I don't know that he's seeing the backside safety, but I'd assume right here he is because you're going to see his eyes. Sees one-on-one, eyes get here. He's immediately looking to lead the ball. So his eyes get to the spot where the ball is going to go. Safety's bailing, so you know you have this window. The question is this backside backer. I don't know that he actually ever sees this guy. But the timing's in a good spot. You can see at the break, the release point's quick. It's in a really good spot here, and Meeks just has to catch it. I mean, he just didn't catch the ball, right? He's trying to take off, but just didn't catch the football. That obviously would have kept the drive alive. So I actually like a lot of that play. I just have some concern or question marks as did he actually see that linebacker or did he kind of get lucky that with the timing of it, the linebacker had no shot? I don't really know on that one. That's the one that gives me a little bit of hold up. And I want to talk about other things too, but let me just show maybe a couple of more plays. Maybe a couple more plays that just caught my eye. Because, again, I want to highlight Isaac Teslaa and when these guys aren't getting the ball specifically. I want to highlight a couple more things. And, again, horrible. Kenny Yeboah got hurt. I mean, I hate that for him. He was doing actually some good things as a blocker. It wasn't all perfect. He was doing some good things as a blocker, so I hate that for him. This is what I mean, though, and this was another good route ran by Isaac Teslaa. Seemingly wanting to, and this is, okay, so this is one of the most confusing plays. And, chat, y'all watch this with me, and you let me know. Because I haven't watched this a ton. You know, usually I watch it a few times, try to really dissect why this isn't connecting. But I see this, and I'm immediately just like, why did this not connect? Why is the ball not being thrown? That's the thing that comes to mind when I'm watching this one. Like, what is the holdup with this play specifically? So if I have this right, and I thought I had this in my notes, I don't know that I do. First off, Teslaa, he gets off the line. Teslaa releases inside, separates from the corner, gets him on his back hip, snaps this route back inside. So it is a really good release into the stem. The route break is strong. I think he separates way more here than the past two plays I just showed. I think this was his best separation of any of these three plays. But if I remember this correctly, essentially the concept is deep post for Tom, dig route for Isaac. And the read is here, right? It's this safety. Because if the safety settles, we go over top, right? If the safety fades, we snap this route and we're hitting Isaac Teslaa behind the backers. Watch how this plays out. First off, watch the route from Isaac. Isaac runs this well, right? There's that kind of single step, little short steps there, a lot of short footwork. I really do like that, but it's really smooth footwork. He's very controlled through it, gets through the release with no problem. You know, guys try to get hands on him. Now he's stacking him. Now he's running back over top. And then watch him. Look at that speed. He's playing really a speed break here. Snaps it down as quickly as possible, snap it off, create separation. So it's not bad, but this is the read. Now, ideally, let's all be honest, this is not Tom Kennedy running this route. No disrespect to Tom, but this is where Jameson, Khalif Raymond, honestly, just somebody like that runs this route, not Tom Kennedy. It still works in principle, and I don't think the timing was that far off where you're like, oh, man, he's so slow that Hendon could not throw this football. It doesn't feel like that. But when that seemingly is the read, I don't know why the ball isn't thrown. If anything, I like to see him just heave this over the top to Tom Kennedy. Because watch at the timing here. I'm going to show you what I mean. So Hendon does a lot of things well here. He reads it out. Here's the safety. Okay, now that's his key. How does the safety play this? That's the key. Watch him. I think that's like a 5-step drop from the gun, so it's almost like a 7-step. Settles in right here. Okay, safety. Is he going to fade back? How's he going to play this? Now, he's drifting backwards. Is he going to be able to flip and find? If you believe he is flipping and he's going to try to go find something over top, you got to rip this pass. I don't know why he doesn't rip this to Teslaa. Okay, right here, rip it. But if anything, I would say, seeing this safety, this ball's got to go. One, Tom Kennedy got his safety flipped around. He doesn't have backside help. There's no leverage. He is the leverage. If you trust the safety to turn around and turn a run, great play by him. But that's a matchup that I'd be willing to take. With Hendon's arm strength, I would say just rip that thing, dude. Just fire it out there. Let Tom Kennedy run under it. Make that safety try to go make a play. And he just doesn't throw it. And I felt that he was looking there, like he saw the safety settle down and said, okay, I'm going to look to TK. I don't know if he felt that he wasn't out of his break fast enough. That's very possible. Again, you might want a guy a little bit more here at this point where there's a little bit more of a top-down read where you can see like, oh, okay, he's down. I'm going to go over top. But ultimately, like if the safety's in a spot where he's still squared to the receiver, let's let this thing go. He doesn't let it go. It's a 3rd and 14 or something. And he slides out of the pocket, checks it down. It's just like, man, right there. First off, love the route from Isaac. But from Hendon's perspective, it just confused me. That's just one of those where I'm like, I don't know why he didn't throw the ball. I'm going to be honest. I don't know why he didn't throw the ball. It just was a little indecisive. And I think it's a good word to kind of use for some of the occasions that you see with Hendon. There's just some indecisiveness when you watch him. And speaking of that, it's not all of that. That's just an example of it over the top. But that being said, the fumble that he ultimately took, because, again, there was some good thing. Again, I think he understands the coverages. He definitely gets the bones of what they're in defensively. So he's able to recognize where to set his eyes seemingly pretty well, even when the ball doesn't come out. And I understand it. Like, there's plays that he's actually saved. I don't want to say he saved. There was a play in this game where we ran like an Ohio concept. We had a fade on the outside. We had a number 2 ran an out route. And the number 3 would have been open over the middle of the field. Maybe I can go back to show that one. But he's reading the out and the vertical route in a cover 4, which is fair. Hey, if it go, that's cornerback carries over top, great, throw the out, and he should. But if he doesn't, then maybe if you got some time, rip it over top, make that safety go chase it. Problem is he doesn't throw it, but ultimately with pressure, he kind of goes elsewhere. He just never sets his eyes back once there's pressure. That's the problem I've seen with Hendon is I think when things break down, I don't get the sense that he's also resetting his eyes in the sense that, okay, now what's plan B? I don't think there's a great plan B a lot of times. I think that he can move in the structure of the play and get through progressions. I just don't feel like when it's a legitimate play is broken down that he's actually still playing out the play. I feel like everything just kind of gets thrown out the window, which is a problem. But you can see that, like, he understands what he's getting. You got a little show here by the defense on a blitz, but there's really nothing crazy happening, right? You're just getting a 4-man rush, 3 underneath, 4 deep on this play. Nothing crazy happening right here, and you just run a clear out, flat, just clear him out, right? Let's sit down the curl route. Again, it's a good ball. There's a nice little strike there. Maybe he was a little bit hesitant too here, to be honest, seeing this back. I mean, I like the bubble the next play, and I don't know if the bubble next play was something that was initially called or that's kind of a check for him seeing the blitzer. Could have been just that, but I like the eyes, right? You read through the flat, he drives to the flat. Okay, now let's put my eyes here. You can see that he's working the progressions, maybe a little bit late, but ultimately he's working the progressions. He's doing his thing. I got no problem with this good ball. He rips it through. It's good form. Then he gives us the bubble. This is good too because, hey, man, I mean, the bubble is, you can read it. He sees the slot stepping down. Watch, he notices it right here. So instead of the handoff, it's quickly to the bubble. Bam, breaks for a good play. Shot to Teslaa. There's positives there, especially if that was more his call than anything. But I want to show you, obviously, with the negative and the thing that kind of cut this drive out. That was a good play. Got out of the pocket, little touch pass. There's some positives in here. But this is the kind of thing right here where I'm like, I don't think he's resetting his eyes back in the play. I understand why he doesn't throw it initially. So defense goes, show blitz. So I want to see, can he read the coverage after they show blitz? Because they're stacking the line. It's an obvious pass down. You have to be able to read this. They're showing blitz, and they go cover 6. So quarters, half field coverage over here is cover 2, right? So high-low. So initially, ball can go here, right? Outside leverage. If Teslaa gets off the ball, he's going to fade it out. Teslaa, I think, runs this well timing-wise. That's where you can try to go, right? You can put it right in the breadbasket. So I think Hooker's eyes are in a fine spot. He looks there first, tries to play this safety. Does he trust it? I guess not, because right now it's like, okay, there's probably enough room to try to drop this in. He seemingly doesn't trust it enough, so he says, I don't like that. Then he feels the pressure and steps up. This is all fine to me to this point. There's no check down option. You didn't like this. That's fair. If you thought this was going to be hard, that's a pick. Fair enough. This is the NFL. I get that. But once it's to this point, and he gets out of the rush, and he steps up, which I like. He is naturally stepping up. Once he gets here, the eyes never look back up. It is, I'm gone. And it's just like, yo, look, if we get our eyes back up at all, if you're just calm, just calm yourself a little bit. I understand it's probably a little bit more, is it way easier for me to say that than to be in that position when you're feeling that heat and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to get out of here. Like, I don't discount that at all, dude. These big dudes running after you, like, I get it. But also, he feels kind of robotic in the court. I got to be honest. It feels like a little bit like I'm watching a robot playing quarterback. Like, do y'all get that sense? I mean, look at this. He's stepping up in the pocket, which is great. Outside pressure, step up, right? But it feels so robotic in the sense that there doesn't feel like a lot of natural feel and just kind of drifting and sliding away from pressure. It feels like he almost just steps himself directly into the pressure. He steps up into the pressure. He doesn't step away from it. He steps directly into it. And then he kind of bumps into the old line, and then he slides out, and he's head down, I'm out of here. And it just feels so robotic. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel instinctive. It doesn't feel calm. There's no calming presence when things break down. It's just panic mode. And it's like, yo, if you just set your eyes up. Because the thing that I hate most about this, he seemingly knew Shane was going to get the ball. He seemingly knew he was going to give it to Shane. Because watch his eyes. right? Safeties, now here, okay, I don't like it, but watch when he steps up. His eyes are over the middle of the field. He can read this high, low. Hey, look, man, he's got no depth. I can fire this thing to Shane. That's easy money. But once it breaks down, it's just, I'm out. And it's like, oh, man, I don't know what that is. It's like, I don't know. It's like an alarm went off in his mind. He's like, I got to go. This is no longer a thing. And it's like, oh, but it was a thing. And then again, shout out to Teslaa. Teslaa running a really good route. I mean, look at the quickness here. This is an elongated release. This is the thing that they need to work on. They are isolating him for key downs to see if he can go win, and he is winning. Teslaa one-on-one, elongated release out wide. Look at this, 1, 2, 3, bam, snap it back inside, hand usage. I love that. That's all beautiful. And he's just winning. Teslaa's doing his thing. But then we got the fumble. And the fumble, and by the way, I want to give some love to Mason Miller because he is, as much knocks, and you'll see it on the fumble, he is run blocking well. I would say give Mason Miller more looks at guard. I would say go back. Unless it looked dreadful, I'd give him more looks at guard because he can drop his weight, he can push dudes around. But this is the fumble. And again, you can see the setup is fair. It makes sense. It's not his fault necessarily in terms of why didn't he throw the football? Well, didn't have time to, legitimately. I mean, they go quarters. He gets the motion across here, so everybody's deep over top, 3 underneath. They run kind of a scissor setup here. That never opens up, so he can't rip the ball there. The next thing to look at would be swing/drag. So now you put these linebackers in a bind. He's carried up vertically. He's going to step out to the flat. Kennedy's going to be open. Watch him set his eyes. Okay, inside. Feel the outside pressure. He's going to step up, and he fumbles. That would have been there. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't like he doesn't have a feel of what's going on. It's not like he doesn't understand where to get to next. He does. He definitely does. It's just that he fumbled. And you see he was kind of loose with the football. I wouldn't be surprised if his instinct was, I'm just going to run upfield again, which in this case actually probably would have been right. It probably would have been fair to do that, but he was just loose with the ball when he tucked it in. He just didn't maybe have the priority on the football that he needed to in that spot, which is unfortunate to why he fumbled. So ultimately with Hendon, again, it wasn't like, oh, this is dreadful. This guy literally doesn't have a feel for playing the position. I don't feel that way. Do I feel like he's super instinctive when you watch him? No. He doesn't look that instinctive when you watch him. But he definitely knows what's going on. It's just like, it just feels a touch off at times. And it's especially when things break down. I can forgive not taking that vertical shot. But again, I like to see him just let it loose a little bit more. You know, just kind of just be like, I'm going to put that out there. Just trust it a little bit. You know, trust it a little bit more. I would like to see that where it's just like, you know what, that's a safety sin. I'm just going. I'm just pushing this thing. Let's just see what happens. And I don't know that he's playing with that kind of overall swagger and confidence right now of like, oh, it's a broken play. I know where I'm getting to. I know what I liked. I know what I saw before this pressure came. It feels like a panic button has been getting hit for him when something just feels a little bit off. Something feels a little bit like, that's not right. That guy got slowed down a little bit. That's not ideal. And then it's just like things just kind of throw out the window. And it's like it doesn't feel as adaptive as it needs to be right now, which I think is the biggest issue for him. And we'll see if he can improve that. He's got a couple games to do it. There's other players, though, good and bad. But specifically, I want to focus on some good here that I do want to give some love to. Specifically. First off, like I said, Mason Miller run blocking has actually been, I think, somewhat of a positive. I can see that this dude can clearly move some people, and I wouldn't hate giving him more looks at guard. I would like to do that. Will this be roundtable location? So no. Link in the top of the chat will be. We're kind of being a little patient with it, or I just put it in the chat. That'll be where it goes. That'll be where the roundtable goes. We will have more people on. We're just kind of working that out right now, working the kinks out, but we'll have it. It'll be a thing. But right now, it just makes more sense to do it here, and then eventually we're going to transition to that. So yes, definitely click that subscribe button because it will transition, and they just won't be over here at all anymore. I don't even know if there'll be clips over here. So definitely go sub up over there. So I want to give some love to Isaac Teslaa. I think he ran some really good routes. Obviously, everybody's blocking well. I also want to give love to Grant Stewart, who is seemingly, Will Backer, that's his calling card, dude. I mean, the toss that he shut down, the speed that he played with was ridiculous. I love watching that dude play backer. I love it. I absolutely love it. I also want to say, Rock Ya-Sin at safety, I'm not going to say it's going to last because I think for depth perspective, from a depth perspective. I don't like what I said there. That didn't make sense. From that perspective, though, I think it's going to be we need some depth, so he might have to be more of a corner. But him at safety, I think the Lions seeing that after this last game, I got to be honest, that might be something that they want to be kind of a mainstay. That they just might like, yo, upside-wise, he's even better here. And some of the negatives that covering from as a coverage corner doesn't really pop as much here. Because if we put him on a tight end, he's awesome. Like, when Rocky Sin gets matched with tight end, he's awesome. And there's not going to be many tight ends that just are too much for him to handle. He's super physical, which already translates well, and he had a much better feel than I would have expected. The problem is Avonte in the nickel in the slot. I like it. I don't love it. But I do know that, one, he's absolutely going to play the run. I mean, he set the edge in this game one time. He stepped in against a tackle, and he's got some freakish recovery that would work way better than Rocky Sin. Like, I wouldn't trust as much Rocky Sin in the slot against slot receivers as much as I would Maddox, because Maddox is so loose and so fluid that he can kind of just stick with guys and get out of weird spots. But he is going to give up some easier completions. And he is very, I think, over-aggressive in terms of his body movement. Like, he will absolutely overset and put himself at some tough spots where he is forced to recover. But he is physical enough to live there. I think right now it'll still be Maddox safety and Rocky Sin corner as we get this thing going. But as things get shuffled around, I don't think the Lions are going to be afraid of saying, Rocky Sin, go to safety. Like, we want you there. Because I think that they could absolutely view that as, oh, he's just better there. He's better there because there's much more consistency that can come along with just projecting him to that spot. And he showed well enough where I think you can buy into the real projections of that specifically. So I just want to give that some note. I think that's going to be something that we see going forward. What else we need? Zach Cunningham. Yo, I'm a big fan of Zach Cunningham. Like, this dude's got me bought in. Man. Zach Cunningham's got me bought in. He's going to be so good for us this season. One, I think he's legitimately our best blitzing linebacker. Like, I'm kind of sold on believing that's going to be a thing. I think he's our best blitzing backer that we have. But he also does a lot of good in coverage. There was one weird play with Rocky Sin where they seemingly went cover 3 and they just both went to the same zone and kind of stood on top of each other. That was kind of strange. But he can easily play with depth. I like depth. I like how well he works through mesh concepts, how well he can pass off assignments underneath. He is so instinctive and reactive to, okay, I got you, pass it off, I got you. Like, he's so fluid with that. And while at times, it feels like he can get kind of pushed around a little bit at the second level, sometimes he's not always able to get square and get down towards the line. He kind of gets backed up a little bit like Alex can at times. I like all the other elements a lot, and I think Zach Cunningham's going to be really good for us this season, man. The more I see, the more I'm loving it right now. So Zach Cunningham, he's going to be great. I'm bought in. I appreciate you, Tom. Lions have 3 players that can play safety, and it is an open role because if he held that down, if he was good as a backup, he's very good number 3. Rocky Sin, to me, brings the most similar style. And I think that I think they could see some similarities in those two because they always loved Iffy's ability to tackle. Rocky Sin showed that immediately. It's like, wait a minute, let's get a look there. And he plays fast enough for that role. Like, he understands it. He seemingly is, the football intelligence translates to that role pretty well, especially for what the Lions ask. But again, the versatility is always the main key. And again, it's not like Avonte was a safety. I mean, he's played safety snaps, but it was very limited recently. This guy was a slot corner. So both of them would be transitioning, playing that role. Both of them would be doing something different than what they've typically done in the past. But for what the Lions value from that spot, which is so much of versatility to be able to play man, it just makes sense that they kind of go after guys like that. And if someone shows that, like, yo, this guy's physical, he's a thumper, he has the range to do it, he's longer, especially because then he's not if he wasn't a mismatch problem with tight ends, he was built to do it. And so is Rocky Sin. So it is great to have that flexibility where they can legitimately interchange whoever they have there. Now, Rocky Sin, to me, I don't want him in the slot, but I can put him out wide. Avonte, I'm probably not wanting to ever really put him out wide, but I can put him in the slot. Ideally, though, Avonte to me is a safety. Rocky Sin might ideally be a safety now, but that said, because of where we're at with injuries, he might just have to kind of settle in at corner for now. But I do love that flexibility, the fact that we can kind of move that around and just figure out whatever we think is best. I guess whatever we need specifically, which is a nice thing to have. KO had a little bit of a rough game, that's for sure. But I thought Mutai showed some real positive, or not Mutai, I'm sorry. See, I saw that in the chat and it threw me off. Yeah, it threw me off. It's not Mutai. The other guy, Giovanni Manu. I thought it was better than I initially thought. Like, pass protection was better than I initially thought. Again, not perfect. Who gave us problems was Arnold Ebiketie. He gave us some real issues. But he also did some better things, I think, run blocking than we saw at all week one. Like, some real good things there. Tate Ratledge, hopefully we do the breakdown of him. For me, Tate Ratledge was a little bit more up and down. I think that as it went on, he started to roll. When he got the opportunity to just maul guys, he really did maul guys towards the end. He just started getting nasty, and he played nasty the whole game. But his body control was a little bit messy. Sometimes he gave up a little bit too much more ground, and then we saw in that sack, he kind of gave up an edge. Like, so he played really fast. He played with his hair on fire as a guard. He was tough as nails. But there were some little things that just felt like a little bit inconsistent, kind of felt a little bit all over the place early. But I think by the time we got to the last couple of series, he looked at his best because he was just moving people. I mean, he was just nasty at that point in the game. So I think he settled in really well. I don't think it was as good as a debut as Tyleek had, but I think it was, and I don't think it was a great debut by any means, but I think it was fine. I think it was absolutely fine, and I think it got better as it went on, which is a big positive there. And that's the thing, Rocky Sin's very up and down. He's very up and down. Now, in slot, I would be concerned. But I feel the same way with Avonte in a lot of ways, too. Like, Avonte in man coverage is going to be a little bit up and down. Like, he's going to be. He's just too overreactive to everything. However, he recovers really well. So that's why I liked him better at safety. Now, he's a little bit smaller than Rocky Sin, I believe, so it does translate better to say Yasin just put him at safety. But, like, I actually would trust, if I had to put one at wide corner, I trust Rocky Sin way more. Because Rocky, especially for the way that we play stylistically, I'm going to trust that he's going to throw off timing. I think he brings a lot of the Vildor elements. He can throw off timing at the line. He can bump you off your route. He can make you a little bit uncomfortable. He can make you uncomfortable at the catch point a little bit too. Like, those are kind of things. He's going to fight you to the sideline out wide. Like, he's going to be able to play to those advantages that he's going to have. So I would trust him more on the outside than I would Avonte. Both of them have up and downs in their game. But at the same time, that's kind of what you get when you start working down the depth chart. Everybody's going to have those in their game. That said, though, it's why it works at safety. It's why it works, and he does have the skills to do it. So I think they're going to want him at safety. It's just, are they going to have the numbers to do it? I think they'll want him there. And they could use him like a third safety, too, because they could just bring him in and put him on tight ends. I don't think they'd have a problem with that. They ain't have any problem with that. We'll make sure I didn't miss anybody else here. I think that's good. I think we'd be able to hit on everybody. I mean, Kyle Allen obviously cooked. He did his thing. Had the 2 sacks, which weren't great. But outside of that, he was good. The 2 sacks weren't fantastic. The one before half, he kind of just lost the ball, fell on it. So that's not great. He also did it himself. It just so happened that he got back on it because nobody was there. And the second one was, I don't remember what the second one was, to be honest with you. But the point is, he had some ugly sacks too. It just, he ripped the ball. That's what it was. He ripped it loose. You know what I mean? He wasn't hesitant on what he was saying. And I think that's the big positive. I think the Lions are in a good spot with having 2 backup quarterbacks that understand the game. I think right now the distinction is Kyle Allen feels much more instinctive. He feels natural. He feels like he has a lot of experience. He feels much more calm in those moments. Hendon feels much more robotic when things get messy. And I think in the preseason, so much about playing quarterback is dealing with mess. Like, route concept-wise, it may not be the deepest thing in the world. And what you're getting looks of may be the same thing over and over and over, which it felt like Atlanta did was the same thing over and over and over and over in the coverage. They had so much of the same looks every play. But you're not going to have the personnel that's going to be consistent around you. It's not like when you come in, you know your guard's down. It's like, oh, that guy could be a problem. You could have that mess all over the place. And we had some of that mess. I just don't think he's responded to the mess as well. In a good environment, I'd actually trust Hendon Hooker. That's why I still like him. But he's got to learn to deal with the mess a little bit better, right? Just make the bad not horrible is kind of the big thing there. And I think he's clearly putting himself in spots, and he's more than athletic enough, and he definitely has the arm talent to actually make positives out of negatives. He just hasn't done that yet. Every negative has turned awful. Or you've had occasional, like, okay, that wasn't too bad. Like, there was more there, but it wasn't too bad. He did run. Like, it's like we could make so much more out of this. I would even say his first scramble, it wasn't that it was even a negative that he made good. It was just that he took off because everybody else took off, which was smart. But that wasn't really a messy play. He just read the coverage was all bailing and he took off. It's like, all right, that's a smart play. But that wasn't a messy situation that he pulled us out of and ran for 20 some yards. That was wide open to take off. No, I do think Mutai has a shot to jump KO'd, especially after this last game. KO was just messy as a run blocker. He was struggling to cut guys off on the backside. He was still good on the play side, which I think is a big positive for him. I'll have to dive deeper into that one because run blocking was just a little bit messy there for him. I think it's tight. Because I thought Yodi's first game was fine. I thought Yodi's first game was strong. Same thing with Mutai, to be honest with you, but I think Yodi was already above him. I'll have to dive more into that one because I did think that it was a rough game for KO, and he may have left his left the door open a bit. Meeks, I don't think Meeks actually has a path for the 53, and it's nothing against it. Well, we'll see if Lovett is not available and they want to keep 6, they could. The problem I have is, and this is just kind of honestly where I'm at. It's not that Meeks is maybe not worthy of keeping on a 53 because I could understand the case. I think I can make a case for him right now. It's just that drop that you have matters a lot. It matters a lot. When you're an undrafted free agent, you're fighting for an extra number, that matters. And it's like, look, you made the big play over top. That was awesome. You made the little play in the end zone. That was great. But that drop matters. Like, you can't. I think it's so hard for these dudes, and I don't want to put everything on it, but it's very hard for guys to overcome just slight negatives in the preseason when you already are working from such a tough spot. And I think that the receivers right now are working from such a tough spot. And it seems like he's doing everything right in practice, so it's actually more about practice maybe than anything. If it was just game-based, I definitely wouldn't have him in the 53 because I would just lean Lovett. And I don't think there's a massive gap right now between him if it was just game-based and even a Ronnie Bell. Because I think Ronnie Bell is taking advantage of his opportunities. He just isn't making splash plays, especially his last game. But in practice, that'll be how he earns that role. Like how he gets himself on the team for sure. If he can show to practice. But still, it's going to have to be, too, that they love him on special teams. Like, you would almost say, you would have to be like, we like him more as a gunner than Lovett. We like him more there. You have to. I think you have to find a way. I just think he's working from such a tough spot. It's like, you have to be better than that. You have to be better than another guy. We have to like you more than anybody else, where it's not just like, oh, he can be a gunner. It's like, no, he's our best option, so he's making the team for that reason and that reason alone. At that point, he'd probably be activated each week as well, which is the other thing that he's battling, because it's not just about making the 53. Now it's like, are you going to be activated too? Because I don't think they're going to keep around a receiver that's not going to be active. Like, how often do we have receivers that are healthy scratches? It doesn't seemingly happen that often. Yeah, 7's deep at receiver. Sometimes we keep 4? I think we're going to keep 6, depending on Lovett's health. I think that's where it's going to go. Oh, another guy I want to get some love to is Nick Whiteside. I thought Nick Whiteside had a really good game. Nick Whiteside had a really strong game. He's someone that I'm focused on heading into this next game. Hopefully we hear some good things about him at joint. I don't know how much we'll actually hear from that group, but I think Nick Whiteside helped himself a lot. That dude was playing really fast. He was pretty snug in coverage as well. More line. The thing is with the O-line, though, too, because I do agree, it's getting banged up, which is a big problem. Like right now, we know Skipper's going to be in there. We know Manu's going to be in there. So, yeah, I feel like 7. Frazier won't count, likely. So it's like, what? I don't know what they're going to do after that. I have no idea. Like, I think after that it's wide open. So I don't think there's enough guys that are pigeonholed into that group as I initially thought. Like, I thought Tristan Clone definitely was getting in. Now I'm not sure that he is. I feel like he's not going to be available when that thing starts. Hopefully I'm wrong on that. I don't know that's going to happen. Colby Source, I thought had a legitimate shot. Now he doesn't. So, like, from the interior, that is wide open. I don't think there's any real locks. Like, Kingsley to me is not a lock. Mutai's not a lock. KO's not a lock, but they're all in play. I would say KO probably still has the lean for me. But, man, maybe Mason Miller gets some looks there. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. Somehow. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do because they just don't have any more locks. It's like someone's got to step up. Someone's got to be really good these last couple of games. Like, whoever does that probably going to make the team. That's probably where we're at this point. Like, Michael Neese. And Michael Neese has been steady. Michael Neese is probably steadily, because of his versatility, hanging on to O-lineman 9. I don't think he's out of the mix at all. I actually would probably bet on him still being able to make this team, or making this team as of now. If you said he had to pick the 53 today based on health, I would probably throw him on the 53. I'll probably have him in there. just because of where we're at. And I know that he can play multiple spots and he'll help us out. And I think he's done his job. I think he's done what's expected. I don't think he's been very much beyond expected, but I think he's done what's expected. And then Mutai would probably be sliding in right next to him. I think he's done enough to probably put himself in that spot. And that's the thing, too, with the kickoffs and punts. It's like, I definitely understand, like, being able to be a backup. But it's like, if you're not starting, I don't know how much value that actually is legitimately going to add to your case for making the team. If you're not a top 2 kick returner, if you're like the 4th kick returner, it's like, okay, do we want to keep the 4th kick returner? Like, to me, there's much more value for those guys on punt team, punt coverage, punt return. Can you be a great jammer? Or also kickoff. Like, kickoff supplies dudes, supplies depth people. Be great on kickoff. It's such a big emphasis of the game. Either kick return or kick coverage. That's where I think you separate yourself. I don't think you separate yourself as being a backup returner. I think you separate yourself as he's going to hit somebody. He's going to block somebody. And the guys that I've seen that have separated themselves there, Anthony Pittman, to me, he constantly separates himself on kickoff and kickoff return. Rocky Sin's been noticeable in those spots. Like, I know those, well, Rocky Sin expected to make the team, but those dudes separate them. Shane Zylstra does good work on kickoff team. I think he helps himself a ton there. The other guy, like, that's where I think you got to, like, if you're really going to do it, unless you're clearly the returner, which I don't think any of those guys are, I think Craig is in that mix. I think Grant Stewart, honestly, is in that mix. And I think Holly Freeman's still clearly the punt returner. I think it's just difficult for that to be the heavy lean. It could be. Maybe they value it more. Maybe they're trying to take some reps away. Maybe they don't love those 2 kick returners. And then that's fair. Maybe you jump a guy like Craig. Now you get yourself in the question. But I think the other reason they love Grant Stewart, too, is Grant Stewart as a fullback on returns when he doesn't get the ball is awesome to have because he's going to kick out that end and he's going to light that dude up. He's going to create a wall, and that's one of the hardest blocks to hit. Now, today's kick return is a little bit easier because they have so much room, but one of the hardest blocks to connect on is you have to, as an other returner from the middle of the field, if it's a middle kick, have to flip around in front of the returner and go connect on the opposite side end. You have to get body. You have to get contact. That's a hard block. It's a lot of running to ask, and then you have to control yourself to lay that block. Stewart absolutely lights dudes up. Like, that's a lot of value. So you have to like if I'm honestly, let's just show it right now. We're talking about it here. This would be one of the Lions kickoff looks. All right, so let's see who's out there. Shane Zylstra, and look, you can see who's in key positions for him as well. Depending on like how teams line it, some teams are trying to double. So a lot of times you'll double team, the best player on the opposite side. So you make it that look. You may get less of that in the preseason. Maybe you're trying to create a wedge to kind of create a wall here. Rocky Sin is based on their alignment. Let me pull it back a little bit. Rocky Sin is their 6th. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he's their 5th guy over. So these would be their, the right 5, their left 5. Their key positions are Rocky Sin. I think it's kind of hard to tell from this point. Grant Stewart, of course. Is that Zach Cunningham? That obviously is going to help him because he's going to be a backup. So hopefully a backup. Craig Reynolds, Shane Zylstra, Anthony Pittman, who is probably their wall guy on this side at this point, creating the wall. Ian Kennelly, which makes some sense there. Who do we got on the backside here? Is this Shane? Maybe I read that wrong. Trevor Nowaski. Yeah, that makes sense. And I'm not sure. Some defensive back on the backside here. And they put a DB back there. Probably a safety. Maybe a corner. Corner that's physical. Is that Teslaa? I think that's Shane. Might be Teslaa. Might be getting him some looks. That's where you gotta stand out. You gotta stand out there in those units, man. Because that's just not an Lions value we know, but man, those are game changing. Especially with how many returns we should get this season with how they've changed the rules. That's the spot, man. That's where I'd be focused on. It's like who's gonna do that, and then you go to the opposite side, just real quick, because why not? See who the Lions are using on this unit. So, yeah, Grant Stewart, watch Craig. This is kick to Craig. So now you're going to ask Grant. Watch Grant. He's going to come out here. He's likely going to kick their 1. Now, some teams may have changed this up, but typically what you do is you leave the ends, right? So you can see you leave the ends. So you'll go 2, 3, 4, double team right here, 5, 6. It's not 5, 6. It'd be 2, 3, 4, double team to 5, backside 5, 4, 3, 2, unblock, leave on the end, kick up, kick the one. These are very tough blocks to ask of a returner. But Grant Stewart plays with his hair on fire. We know this. He plays super fast. So when that ball's in the air, watch how Grant's playing this. Grant, special teams coach, everybody wants him because of how fast he plays. Watch him when this ball's in here. Watch how fast he races out here. He's out here. He's like, look at how fast he's playing. If he's jogging, he's like, I'm not getting that one. This end is free, and now all of a sudden Craig has to go this way. Now Craig doesn't field the return incredibly well, but Craig is cut off. But Grant gets there and he creates an alley so that he can play the entire field. Watch Grant. Let's see if he lays a block. He did not lay a block. Not great. But we love how fast he's playing. All right, not a great example. You see what he's asked to do, and it makes sense. It's a good role for him to play that role. This is where dude's got to shine, man. This is where dude's got to shine. Stay connected because it's also very clear. It's also very straightforward. As a coach, you're not confused on who is supposed to block that guy. You know exactly who's to block that guy. He's standing right in front of him. So if he's free and my guy makes the tackle, what are you doing? It's very straightforward as a special teams coach here. They know exactly what they're looking for. Who's going to stay connected? Who's my guy right here? He had it for a little bit, then lost it. He ended up giving up the tackle, Shane Zylstra. He had it for a minute. I was actually going to give him some praise, and then he lost the block. Let's see the double team. Double team. Now let's squeeze him to the sideline. It's not bad. They took him out of the play, did that job. So this is definitely going to have to be cut back right based on everybody's leveraging these blocks. This is definitely going to have to be cut back. You can see the wall they're trying to create here. Some nasty blocks there, I'm going to be honest with you. But that's the key. Like, who's going to shine in those areas? I think that's what a lot of it comes back to is special teams because safeties, linebackers, running backs, tight ends, corners, even on the ends, there's so many position groups that can be involved in that. And now, be a dog there. So maybe that's Meeks. Maybe Meeks can do that. But if it's not going to be that, be a gunner for us. Like, be the best gunner on the team. Be one of the best jammers on the team. Be somebody that's knocking dudes off when they try to get off the line and they can't get off the ball. And if you got that, I think he might actually have a real shot at making this team. It's just that if he doesn't, I think it's just a tough path. It's a very tough path. Now, let him go off for 100 yards again next week, and it's all of a sudden become real interesting. Just stop dropping passes. Like, legit, don't drop passes, bro. I hate that it has to be that much pressure on him, but, like, bro, we can't drop passes. Drop passes is just tough. It's tough to make that case. Let's see another one. Who's back here this time? So we got a different unit this time. Oh, this is fun. Oh, that was a good block, too. Hold up. So is that Jabari Small? Hold up. Oh, that was Sailors. Okay, hold up. Let's go one more look at this. See, I usually don't look at these, but let's just peek again. So it looks like they got Sailors on the backside returner here. So he's going to land the cutoff block on number 1, which is also how I do it. He's going to hit the number 1. What do we got right here? Number 2. Look at this block. Look at this block. That's what I'm talking about, bro. That's the block right there. Was that Ahmed? Yo, that looked like Ahmed blocking. I think that was Ahmed. Hey, shout out to Ahmed. See, Ahmed doing the dirty work. That's what I'm talking about. He is connected. Who is this? Lauren Strickland. Not excellent. He's trying to do his thing there. He's working. He ends up giving up the tackle. Lauren's not going to like that. He did it. He tried. He tried to stay connected. It just wasn't pretty. Right? He's trying to create this wall. He just let him get it too far upfield. He tried to use his back to help him out. Who's this? Here's a little bit of a battle here. I kind of like this. Ultimately, it looks like they're trying to create a little bit of a cutback to get to the middle of the field. But these little bouncing kicks are making it really tough timing-wise for them to get to the middle of the field. So everything is getting forced to the sideline. And if you're playing that blocking scheme and it's forced to the sideline, he doesn't have a great chance to cut out of this. So again, let's see if we can connect the end here. That's a good connection, sort of. He didn't say latch, but it was good early. Obviously, they also want to avoid flags, too. It may get flagged. It's not helping themselves. Here's a double team because they're trying to work off of that. This dude races over top. That was a good block here. I like this. Who is this? Whiteside. Nick Whiteside. Hey, I'm telling y'all, bro. Nick Whiteside, sleeper. What are we doing here? Ooh, okay, a little jet. Oh, hold on. Who's that? Who is this? Who is this? Is that Meeks? Wait. Was that Meeks? Hey, if that's Meeks, Meeks making the team, dog. Straight up. Wait, hold on. This is what I'm talking about. I'm glad we're watching this because I didn't even know he was doing this. If this Meeks, he's making the team. He knows the assignment. Yeah, we got some good blocks on the backside. Is that Meeks or Taylor? I can't tell. Oh, he's getting the shoulder shrug. Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Who is that? I can't tell who that is. Is that Meeks or is that... I actually can't tell. I think think it is, but it kind of looks like Taylor too. Hold up. Let me find out. That's not Meeks. That's Malik Taylor. Ah, see, Malik. I don't know how Malik's gonna make the team, man. I don't think he's caught a pass yet. I was hoping that was Meeks, bro. I'm about to be on board. Hey, Malik Taylor knows what it's about, though. This man knows. He's like, let me go light up my dude. This is how I'm gonna stand out. I'm a problem. Look at him. Hey, at least put that film out there for everybody else. You know what I mean? At least put that film out there for everybody else. Everybody else can buy into that. Someone will sign you. Someone that values special teams will get that done. That is beautiful, man. See, I know he was out there doing all that. Hold up. I thought that was Meeks, y'all. My bad. I got y'all hyped up. I was like, I get confused between 86 and 83. That's what throws me off. I thought that was Meeks, but it was 86. 86 is Malik Taylor. He just doesn't catch the ball at all, so I don't know. He doesn't ever have production. I don't know what he's doing. All right, let's get one more because this is fun. Let's get one more. Za'Darius. Hey, Dose, even with Za'Darius breaking up with Cash Doll, do you think he still comes back? So I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who Cash Doll is, but I believe she lives in Detroit, right? Like that's the thing. I hope he still comes in Detroit. I don't know. Is that going to impact things? I hope not. I would say yes. I would say if anything, it's like, now you definitely got to come back, because this is family. So you know what I mean? Like you come back to family in those tough times. You know what I mean? I honestly don't know who Cash Doll is. Is that a rapper? Sounds like a rapper name. I probably sound so out of loop right now. Are they even blocking the twos here? Oh, they are. Yep, he's got to hit the end. Oh my gosh, who's blowing this up? Is that Trevor? Oh my. Hey, yo, special teams film breakdown is crazy. I'm with it, though. Yo, he fought through 2 blocks. Hey, see, Trevor making the team. This is why he's making the team. This is the dirty work. Who's next to him? Who's the 5th guy? Who's the L5 here? Who is this? It's good contain. He's fighting through it. Got in. Was that Malik again? Guys, I'm telling you what, man. Malik Taylor. Hey, Malik Taylor got some film now. Malik Taylor got some film. Okay. Hey, Malik Taylor might make the team. Why aren't we talking about him? See, this is the thing that needs to be talked about. This is the problem. We're not discussing these things. You know what? If I drop a special teams breakdown, who's going to watch it? That's the real question. Who's actually going to watch it? I don't know. I'm going to look this up, though, because you said, I've heard that name. I'm going to look it up, and then we will wrap this thing. Oh, okay. Cash Doll. Cash Doll is she is a rapper. Okay, see? That was a good guess. She is a rapper who has mixtapes. Keisha and Cash Doll. I've never heard of that. They break off relationship one day ago. I just need to be single. Hey, Za'Darius, bro, look. Get over that with a nice little contract. I mean, let's keep it above. You know what I mean? You can get over that with a nice little $7 million deal. Quick little $6 million immediately in your bank account. Just being honest. That nice little signing bonus going to hit immediately in your bank account. Go buy a couple cars. You know what I mean? Do your thing, man. That's going to be fantastic. No, I think he is going to sign. On Bleacher Report today, I said I think it's not if, it's when. And I do believe that's going to be the case here. It's if, it's when. It takes 2 players to maintain him. I knew he was strong, but not like that. Like, yeah, bro. Now, obviously, I want to see him against starters because you put him on... like, Philly is going to be Tyler Steen probably, so I think he should be okay there. But, you start putting him on some dogs now. I mean, what is it, week 1 Green Bay? So he's going to see the dude that got paid a ton of money from San Fran on one side, like 17 a year, and Aaron Banks, and then potentially the first-round pick, right? The first-round pick from Arizona, or it's going to be Sean Ryan, which he should dominate Sean Ryan if we came in the book. I mean, he should. Alan Jenkins got moved to center. He'll be good. It's an 8 out of 10 likely for Smith to come back. All right, see, like, that's good. That's what ChatGPT is actually for. So I'm glad that you used it properly. I actually like that. She's a rapper. Okay, I don't think I've ever heard of Cash Dolls. Maybe I haven't. I just don't know it. Maybe I have. Is it, like, mainstream, or is this, like, I don't know. No, and that's the thing. Definitely practice squad. Like, if these dudes don't make it, definitely want to get these guys in the back of the practice squad for sure. For sure. It's just, to me, the focus is going forward. Watching the interior O-line. Who's going to stand out on the interior O-line? Who's going to make a case? Like, I mean, one of these new Sutherland could make this team. I want to see Mason Miller get some guard reps. With tackle getting healthier, I would put Mason Miller back at guard. Unless it looked horrendous, I'd put him at guard. I think he's shown the ability to move guys. I put him in there, see if it settles him down a bit, and see if he can create some movement and potentially surprise some people. Maybe at least grab on the practice squad and hang around. Who is going to stand out for that battle is the most open spot now. And then depth at corner. Nick Whiteside, I think, helped himself a lot. Tyson Russell has gotten better at seemingly. Those guys have done some good things. Boodle's been a little up and down, but they're getting him a lot of reps. I think Nick Whiteside's the biggest sleeper in that group right now. And then can Lauren Strickland fight back into this? It feels like he's kind of on the outside looking in. Had a pick yesterday, which is great. I'm still in on Eric Hallett for sure, so I still think that's a real opportunity. And he's playing the run well. Now make a play in coverage, and I think really kind of put yourself in the eyes of everybody like, wait a minute, this guy might have to make it. And then same thing for those guys. Like, someone's got to play well there in special teams. And Ian Kennelly seems like the best fit for that. Ian Kennelly's making the team. I'm going to be honest. Like, it's to me very clear Ian Kennelly's making this team. If you want to bet on the UDFA, bet on him. That said, though, I'm going to leave it there, man. I'm going to put the link back in the chat. So, ChatGPT. Shout out to everybody that joined. That's going to be the link. Make sure you sub to that channel if you haven't. That's going to be Lions Roundtable in the future. I know it's supposed to be at Roundtable, it's just me today, but we will get the other people in here. We are in contact. And look, if the panel does come together like I think it's going to be awesome. Like, straight up. It's going to be great. And you guys are going to love who we bring in if it happens like we hope it does. And I believe that it will happen. So just be patient. But Thursday, we'll be back 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see who's with us that show. But we will be back to talk more Lions. You bring Zink back, that could help Marcus stay more healthy. No, it could, in theory, right? Because you're taking less snaps. And at worst, and here's the thing with Za'Darius, though. I don't want to do anything like this, but Za'Darius is a big benefit because of his track record of being on the field. Like, so, regardless of what it does for Marcus, because I think, unfortunately, for Marcus, it's like, yes, the less snaps he's on the field, odds are there's a lower chance of something happening because he's not on the field as much and exposed as much. But at the same time, I think even if you had Z, he's going to play a ton. So, ultimately, like, it just takes one play. So, does it help him? I don't know. Like, it could, but if it's the second play where it's like, oh, there you go, that was the wrong play, it could still go down. But the benefit of Za'Darius, to your point, is Za'Darius is on the field a lot. He has a history of being on the field a lot. And if you want to bet on that, like, some teams are going to be willing to bet on that because the history will tell you he's on the field a lot. Just this same way history tells you Marcus has been banged up and people don't like it, history tells you Z is going to be on the field. So for that reason, I think it's a great get back if you can get it, make it happen. So I agree with you from that. I agree with you. I think what you're saying makes sense. It makes sense mathematically. Does it play out in practice? I don't know. But it does make sense statistically. Hopefully it does play out that way. But I think ultimately, Z on his own just makes sense. So let's just bring him back. Let's get this thing done. I think he's coming back. I'm going to leave it there. I appreciate y'all joining, man. I will see you guys Thursday at the latest with another Lions Roundtable episode. Maybe here, maybe on the other channel. So make sure you sub up so you don't miss it. And, we'll see. We'll see what else. We'll see what else we can get to breakdown wise. I definitely want to do some more things before the next game starts. So we'll see what we can get to here. If y'all want to see anything specific, make sure you hit me up on X or Instagram. And I'll be back. I'm out. Have a great night. Enjoy your Wednesday or Tuesday. What is this? Tuesday? All right. Enjoy your Tuesday. I'll see you soon. We out of here, man.